get out of here. I can't leave my father. Dog, take Gordon to the Ravenholm tunnel, then circle around and try to meet up with me. Hurry!
I can fit through there. Come on. I ain't fat. I ain't that big. Doggy, where you go? Don't go to Ravenholm. Immediately goes to Ravenholm. Almost immediately. You fool. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be using the gravity gun here. Give us all these things to play around with. This ain't much of an elevator, is it? Did you check out the finished cottage simulator? I did, actually. It's a bit expensive for what it is, actually. What was it again? Like 15 euro? I'd probably try it at some point, though.
As we finished up our work on Ravenholm, we couldn't shake the feeling that the transition from Eli's lab just wasn't working. It was far too abrupt. Eli's lab connected directly to the streets of the town where you'll be shortly, and the section you're standing in didn't exist. We had just made this promise at the end of Eli's lab: we don't go there anymore, and we liked the overall build-up we'd created. But when the player got to Ravenholm, they were immediately dropped into combat with zombies without any room for tension building. So we built this section and the subsequent tight corridors to address that in a way we were happy with. We slowed the pacing, focused on art and lighting, and got you ready to experience why we don't go to Ravenholm anymore.
I think somebody did that. It's pretty weird. We don't go to Ravenholm.
Ravenholm gameplay focus. After watching many playtests of Ravenholm, we knew the core gameplay of the level revolved around the gravity gun and physics. Once equipped with that knowledge, we felt we could appropriately build the transition into Ravenholm and help the player learn and understand a bit about what the upcoming experience would be. This happens often. We build the level track, figure out what's working, and then design its prologue. We built the following set of rooms with that table setting in mind. The brutality of the tools we provide the player seemed to aid in setting the mood we were striving for, helping to shift the tone from the safety of Eli's lab to something darker and more frightening.
Take a few of these with us. I don't want to launch one of these like a missile.
Bringing physics to the enemies. The physics traps in Ravenholm were some of the first gameplay elements in the level that we were really happy with, but they lacked player agency. It was the saw blades that helped us figure out what Ravenholm was truly about.
Made a mistake.
With saw blades, the player was able to bring physics to the zombies instead of leading zombies into the physics. Once we had that understanding, Ravenholm evolved rapidly. We kept combing through the map, looking for anything, especially anything unusual, that could be turned into a tool or weapon for the player.
You sure did.
Player tools. By this point in the game, players have a lot of experience with Half-Life 2's physics, but they've just received the gravity gun, which provides a whole new way to interact with the physics objects in the game. We iterated on a variety of the physics objects that the player could play with, things like saw blades, the catapults, explosive canisters, traps, spears, and so on, and honed in on the ones that worked well with the physics gun and cut the ones that didn't. Then we went about stripping the levels of ammunition items so that the player had to rely on these objects to survive.
They have become like these peculiar demons which dwell in matter, but in whom no light may be found.
Contrived setups. There's a pretty obvious contrivance in a bunch of the gravity gun and physics object training. The player pulls a saw blade out of the wall with the gravity gun, and right on cue, a zombie stumbles around the corner, just begging to have a saw blade launched at it. Then the player crawls under a spinning blade trap to turn it off, and suddenly 3 zombies appear, taunting the player to switch the trap back on.
I see two.
We didn't have much time to iterate on
Turtle.
this section, so we needed setups that worked for all players, not more open-ended ones that relied on them
He said
making the
three.
right move. While
He
this kind of
lied.
design has the potential to reduce players' creativity, in this case, we found that they didn't seem to mind that we forced their hand a little bit.
Come on, little space chicken. How about it? Get right. And
Paint cans. Once we started to succeed at making the gravity gun and physics gameplay the core of the Ravenholm experience, we started to go through the levels and look for objects that we might have overlooked as we were busy working with the really aggressive things like saw blades and exploding canisters. One of the things we found was the paint can, and it was simple enough for us to sort of reinforce player expectations by having the paint can splatter paint on the zombies when you threw one at them.
where did you just come from? Just walked down the wall. Rude. Rude. Yep. He's in a bit of a funny position.
Ravenholm's development. We began developing Ravenholm early in the production of Half-Life 2, so it went through more than one full development pass. The first version predated the gravity gun, with gameplay focused on traditional zombie combat using guns and some of the physics traps. We even planned to showcase Ravenholm at E3 in 2002, but the game was ultimately unveiled a year later in 2003. By that point, we had invested heavily in Ravenholm's art, something which we generally avoid until the gameplay is fully proven. So once we went back to Ravenholm with the gravity gun mechanic in mind, we were working with a lot of pre-existing level geometry that had been designed with a very different gameplay goal in mind.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Interesting. Left 4 Dead is on Steam. Need someone's help with Good Guy Nick Achivo in Left 4 Dead. Oh. What's that one? You want to get some Left 4 Dead
Misteaching
going,
flinches. Another memorable playtest and example of the danger of misteaching players occurred in Ravenholm. One of our design principles is for the game to respond to the player as much as possible. So when designing the gravity gun, it seemed obvious that if the player pointed it at a zombie and pulled the trigger, something should happen. It was simple enough to make it zap the zombie for a tiny amount of damage, causing the zombie to play its flinch animation, which felt good and responsive. Later, we watched a playtest where the tester discovered this interaction immediately upon arriving in Ravenholm, and interpreted it as a feedback that the gravity gun was hurting the zombie.
This guy.
Which it was, just not very much.
We can do it, Carl,
So
because
they
we
zapped
both own
the
a
zombie
copy.
again, repeatedly, shocking it over and over until it died. This
We do
is a
both own a
slow,
copy.
Greggory Plaza. This open plaza is one of the areas that was fully detailed in our first development pass. And when we returned to it, we wanted to preserve as much of the existing art as possible while designing a new player path that used all 3 dimensions, moving players up and down, through windows, across rooftops, and between buildings. It wasn't a large space, so we had to squeeze as much track out of it as possible. And since that started as an art-focused area, it was light on gameplay, and we needed to address that playtesters tended to fly right through it. And to top that off, it was already pushing our rendering performance budget with little room left for anything new. The challenge became finding small additions to slow the player down by adding threats around corners and into every nook and cranny of the level.
That didn't work. Why not? I thought that would have worked. Oh well. Silly Billy. Oh. Double kill. Oh. Stop at you, space chicken. Another one. Your last wife. Just downloaded a free trial. Carl, are you joining? What, now? Right now? Immediately? Oh, I need to do it by tomorrow. Tomorrow? We have all night. I think you, you have all night. I don't necessarily. These nutcases. We only have until tomorrow. Wait a minute. I don't think I ever found this before. Why is it a limited time? Currently in the kitchen smoking. He's not fighting fit. Jackie boy is not fighting fit. Already in Ravenholm. Actually, you'd think I'd be actually past Ravenholm. Some of the commentaries have slowed me down a little, actually. Which is fine. Yeah, we're in Ravenholm. Nobody goes to Ravenholm, but we go to Ravenholm. Anybody enjoy Ravenholm? Or is Ravenholm too spoopy? Too spoopy for yous. How the fuck did I originally get up there? Oh. Can I actually get up? Aha. Aha. Well, there's efficiency for you. Anyone else want trouble?
Hallway cupboards. These junk-filled hallways were a simple solution to our need to slow the player down. With the constraint of preserving as much of the existing geometry as possible, combined with slow-moving zombies as the main enemy, it was tricky to stop players from just sprinting through here. Luckily, having Greggory as the crazed inhabitant of Ravenholm made these setups easy to justify. It makes good sense that he clogged the stairwell to keep himself safe on the rooftops. In the end, Greggory's solution and ours were one and the same. Just throw a bunch of furniture in the way, because if it stops zombies, it'll probably slow the player down too.
I don't think I'm supposed to touch this. Oh, you are.
Even with all the work we did to try and make a connection between this lever and the outside electric fence in the players' minds, some testers would still flip the lever and not know what they'd done. They'd even wander around, flip the lever back on, and wander around some more.
These little poisonous bastards.
With not much time to spend on making the connection clearer, we elected to just have the lever break off. This prevented players from undoing their progress and added to the feeling that Ravenholm was an unreliable and decaying environment.
Sure is. Sure is. You better believe it. I see. Wake up! Wake up! Actually quite evil. Considering that man knows exactly what's happening. Considering he's consciously aware. Fair enough. Fair enough, man. That didn't actually do anything to him. What the fuck? What the hell? Will he catch fire walking through him? No, he won't. I always forget that this is where you first get your shotgun as well. Ravenholm. They do actually wait a while before they give you the shotgun. In Half-Life 2.
Well done, brother.
Well done!
Make free use of my traps, but take care not to fall in them yourself. Behind you! In Ravenholm, you do well to be vigilant.
Dun 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 dun. Right, where do I go from here? From hither, whence do I go? Oh, down here. Obviously. Obvious!
We all went to Ravenholm. When fans talk to us about Half-Life 2, Ravenholm is often the most remembered section. Thanks to its multiple development passes and the density of the material in it, more members of the team are represented in Ravenholm than anywhere else. It was where we figured out how to apply our artistic pipeline to the set pieces and mood we wanted, how physics and gameplay combined with the gravity gun, how headcrabs and zombies need to evolve for Half-Life 2, and much more. Looking back on it now, it reassures our belief in individual empowerment over centralized design. Ravenholm is dense, highly efficient in its gameplay and artistic execution, and the sum of many small contributions by individuals who understood how they could push it just a little further with their own unique capabilities.
Is he? Very good.
Car crushers. These car crushers.
I'm trying to use the thing. Don't tell me about it. I'm trying to use it.
Damage system. There's always a challenge when big physics objects interact with non-player characters. For instance, if the physics can push the NPC, it might shove them somewhere they're not supposed to go, leaving them unable to recover. This isn't a big issue for something like a head crab, which can just hop out of a tricky situation, but for something like a zombie, it could mean they get stuck and end up helpless, flailing away in whatever gap they manage to wedge themselves into, which kind of kills the survival horror mood we're going for here.
Well, this one's smart. Are you coming for me? Splat! Hey, what up, Mad Hats? Getting hit with rocks hurts. Yeah. True point. You ever been hit with a rock? It's not fun. You ever been hit by the rock? Rock Dwayne Johnson?
Getting the car crushers to lift the player was also tricky. See, the player is always being simulated by both the physics system and the game's movement system. Each time we update the player's state, we compare the results from both systems and decide which one is right, then sync them up and repeat. This allows the two systems to influence each other. Like when the player stands on a seesaw, the physics lets the board give way. Or when they stand on the car crusher, it lifts them up. While more complex, this dual system approach was easier to tune than trying to handle both physics and player movement in a single system. By keeping them separate, we could fine-tune the player movement system to feel good on its own, only reconciling the two when physics was affecting the player.
So, do we just jump in there from here? Or do we die? Well done, he didn't even jump. He didn't even jump. I went to jump, but he didn't even jump. Oh! Okay, whatever. Bring it back down. Bring it back down, Sonny Jim. We do get in there by jumping in there, don't we? I'm in! There we go. Very spooky town, this one. Who else absolutely shat themselves when they got to Ravenholm back in the day, huh? Who else got spooked? I got spooked a couple of times around this place. definitely memorable.
Better and better. I am Father Greggory. You have already met my congregation.
You're very funny. We done, son? Man is living his best life. Careful where you're fucking shooting that thing. Careful where you shoot that thing.
It is true. I apologize. But no harm done. My bullets are not least of your concern.
No harm done. Old statement. Having a great time. Alright. May as well enjoy. Whoa. Are you just going to fucking die? You're on fire. You're gonna die at some point. He's very resistant to this whole dying thing, isn't he? I think he's finished. We don't waste ammo in Ravenholm. No, sorry. Nice. No, this is just a regular barrel. It still works. Quite effectively, actually.
Pacing switch. Now that the player's through the training section, we can start shifting the pacing from moody, claustrophobic spaces to more combat-focused action arenas. With the player familiar with the various physics tools in the environment, we can start mixing those into open spaces and just give the player the freedom to choose their approach.
That sounds quite horrific. Should be enough to explode one of those, right? No. Need to explode a barrel with a barrel. Oh. Not strong enough to pull it. Oh, there we go. Alright, I have a barrel to spare there. A barrel to spare. Don't like the way they jump around. It's not nice. Be this. Okay, I think I just have to drop down now, don't I? Or jump across to there. I'll probably go this whole level not touching the ground floor, actually. If you knew what you were doing. Oh, he's on fire. Now he's dead. I don't trust these corners. I don't trust none of it. Where do I have to go here again? Oh. I think I have to go in there. Maybe I was supposed to stay on the rooftops. It could be that I was supposed to not come down here at all. how would you get back up? The problem. It's a problem. Oh, here we go. This nice quiet little hamlet here in Ravenholm. It's just pitch black. Fuck that. Why do I forget what to do here? Should. Oh, ladder. There you go. Simple solution for simple people. He's donezo.
Although they call me crazy, I care not, for thou art my helper, my strength, and my...
Oh yeah, we get to see one of these advanced ones here. Ooh. How you doing? How you doing? He looks like an imp from Doom, mate.
Tables and bodies. Towards the end of Ravenholm's production, with all the major pieces in place, we went through and tried to fill out every bit of empty space with something interesting. In doing so, we had to be careful to use what we already had and not create anything new, as we couldn't risk introducing more bugs. Often, as in this room, we were trying to add new moments of gameplay, while also adding more detail and storytelling to the area. Small scenes like this allow an attentive player to think about what they're seeing and what it might mean for what they'll encounter next. Tables and bodies. Towards the end of Ravenholm's production, with all the major pieces in place, we went through and tried to fill out every bit of empty space with something interesting. In doing so, we had to be careful to use what we already had and not create anything new, as we couldn't risk introducing more bugs.
Did it just reset the whole thing?
As in this room, we were trying to add new moments of gameplay, while also adding more detail and storytelling to the area. Small scenes like this allow an attentive player to think about what they're seeing and what it might mean for what they'll encounter
Fast Zombie
next.
Introduction. This space was another area originally built for E3 2003, where it showcased the player fighting against a squad of Combine soldiers. When we returned to use it to introduce the Fast Zombie, we tried to keep as much of the previous work as possible. We wanted an iconic moonlit shot with zombies leaping past the moon like werewolves to draw the player's eye. Once that beat is over, we introduce the first Fast Zombie to the player space and send it at them. It took a lot of iteration to find the right balance of lighting for the scene to look good, while ensuring it also worked for the gameplay goals.
Yeah, these speedy boys fucking scared the living shit out of me when I was younger. You little bastards. Fucking fuckers! Space chickens, where are you? They probably do taste like chicken. Whoa! I thought you were dead. I don't think we can break through here or anywhere. I need more boards behind the boards. Give me my full complement of health. Oh yeah, let me do saves as well. I haven't made saves in a while. Fucking new too. I knew.
Here, brother.
Here we go. Shoddy time.
You've stirred up hell. A man after my own heart. Here, I have a more suitable gun for you. You'll need it. Catch. Good. Now,
thank you.
Keep it close. My advice to you is aim for the head. Hush. They come. There is no rest in Ravenholm. Move on and I will meet you at the church.
That scream. Oh yeah, we just jump in there. Which one of these is shaking? Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Genuinely terrifying, those fuckers are. Oh! Slowest elevator ever. Fucker.
Poison zombie introduction.
Oh yeah, these, I hate these.
Constraining the player in a tight space while providing them with a view outward is a useful way to increase the chances that they'll notice something we want them to see. Here, we draw the player's attention with the sound of a wail before the poison zombie itself becomes visible. Originally, this encounter was also the first time players faced poison headcrabs, but as mentioned in an earlier node, we got far too enthusiastic in proliferating poison headcrabs around the level and ended up spoiling their joint introduction here. In the end, however, these first encounters worked better as separate instances anyway.
Fuck. Yeah, these are the worst part of this level. Motherfuckers. Fucking poison head crabs. Hate them. Resilient bastards. Push! And... Ba-ba-ba-da-dum. That sound is horrible. Horrible sound. Yes, this is the game's way of letting you save ammunition. Use the explosive battles. Hello? Where are you? Friends? Friends? Around every corner. Did you hear that? There was a little laugh there. Oh! Like, oh, you want to use that? No chance, buddy. Where's my blade? Looking for my blade. Where'd it go? Rude. That can be used on greater threats. Not yet. Not yet, baguette. This though. Used it. Why is it? Sometimes it doesn't even set them on fire. That pisses me off. I'm trying to set them on fire. There we go. It almost sounds like he's relieved to die in some way. He's saying, yeah! Like it's finally happening. Finally released. Finally released from the prison. Finally released. The clutches. The crab. Very spooky stuff. Ah, I'm stuck. That was a total waste. Fucking stop sticking to the geometry, you fool. What else am I looking for? What else must I find? There's a way up here somewhere. Get up there. Oh, he doesn't. No, he does not realize what he's up against at all. Get up there. How do you do that again? How is that done again? It's down this dark little alleyway here. Oh. I have another barrel available. Beryllium. Any barrels? No. Alright, I'm gonna have to use weaponry. Weaponry is needed. Oh, I'm getting surrounded. This guy on the ground finally got me. Finally succeeded. His perseverance paid off. Funny enough, I think it's possible that this row of enemies will never end. Can't remember. Right. Oh no. The jar. Hold on, just to do that. Yeah, have to get up there. Get across there. I don't remember how I do that. Don't rightly remember. Up there. Where I go. Watch out for the tougher zombie bitches too. I like him. Oh well. Alright. It's crazy. Listening to him. Those are the worst. I can corral them up. Oh, there's a scary one. Oh. At least I triggered him into action. And these fucks. Right. Ooh. Can I get through here unscathed? Possible. I don't like those sounds. They're nasty sounds. That did significant damage to one of them at least. One of the problems. I did pull the lever, didn't I? Hope so. Pull the lever! Wrong lever! That ought to thin out the herd a little. That rattling sound. Nasty bastards. Oops. That was a total waste. That was not good. I might throw some grenades down there and fuck it. Good uses any for them.
Playtester archetypes. Iteration and regular
we didn't pull the lever.
The lifeblood of Half-Life 2's production. Every week, we quietly watch over the shoulder of a player going through the section we were working on, taking notes on what worked and what didn't. It was important for us to test with a wide range of skill levels to be sure that we weren't making decisions that only worked for some. Over time, we learned to choose specific types of playtesters based on the development stage we were at. Early on, we used experienced gamers, usually teammates, who could handle rough, unfinished areas and were good at explaining their thought process.
Handle a bit of rough, huh?
For combat testing, we'd find players of all skill levels, especially those creative in their usage with the tools. Finally, as sections became more polished, we'd focus on beginners, people who didn't play games much or weren't familiar with first-person shooters. Even if they weren't necessarily someone who might buy the game, we often learned something valuable from watching them.
You fucking clown. Get all that distance. Oh!
Warning. Blood toxin levels detected.
Easy jump. Dumbass. How did I fucking not make that jump? That's crazy. How does one not make that jump? Ah! I'm beating the shit out of you, fucker.
Woe betide thee, child.
They look like xenomorphs. That's what's so scary about them, actually. They just look exactly like xenomorphs. Ah! That'd be cool, actually, a Valve alien game. But, imagine Valve making any games these days. What a shame. What a shame. I'm making sure. I'm making sure. Half-Life 3 any day, right? Half-Life 3 any day now. Announce the thing. Any more sauce? I hear you. I hear you. Ah! So sad. I'd like a non-VR version of Half-Life Alyx as well. Or Alyx. I always call it Alyx.
Towards the end of Ravenholm's production,
I don't know why I call it
with
Alyx.
all the major pieces in place, we went through and tried to fill out every bit of empty space with something interesting. In doing so, we had to be careful to use what we already had and not create anything new, as we couldn't risk introducing more bugs. Often, as in this room, we were trying to add new moments of gameplay, while also adding more detail and storytelling to the area. Small scenes like this allow an attentive player to think about what they're seeing and what it might mean for what they'll encounter next.
I knew there was going to be a head humper fucking ambush up here, and I don't know why I didn't prepare myself. Accordingly. Alright, you little bastard, get over here. Come on over here, space chicken. Little space chicken. You little dykey. Alright, back to the freaky rooftop section, huh? Stay down there. I ain't playing games. I don't think I need to go over there, do I? Yeah. All right, yeah, we get up there. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Scenery here is pretty cool. Scenery here is pretty nice. Oh. Oh, that didn't go far enough. Waste of grenades, but anyway. We do gotta deal with him. Whoa! There's another one. A blue. Stop hurtling little pissheads at me. Come on, you're gonna jump. Do the jump. Fuck you. Where are you? Yes. That fucking laugh when they're dying. I don't even know if you'd call it a laugh. What would you call it? A morbid cry of satisfaction from finally feeling the release of death. Pretty ominous. Sounded him climbing those poles as well. Always freaky. You really captured that sound very well. That impending doom sound.
Final arena. When we finished the first pass over Ravenholm, this rooftop was intended to be the culminating fight. Like other spaces in...
At last! I will send the cart for you, brother. It will be but a moment.
We can listen to that well. We fight.
Guard yourself well.
Guard yourself well.
Final arena. When we finished the first pass over Ravenholm, this rooftop was intended to be the culminating fight.
Look at the pipes.
Like other spaces in Ravenholm, it had begun life as a space purely focused on being an interesting visual location. We felt it was important that, as the player left Ravenholm, they had a moment to look back over the town they had just survived and get a glimpse of where they were headed next. Multiple gameplay groups took a shot at building a fight here, but the tight geometry and performance constraints meant we never really created a finale we were happy with. Not unlike the Half-Life saga itself, it seemed as if Ravenholm was destined to not have a real ending.
Not unlike the Half-Life saga itself. Destined to not have a real ending. You son of a bitches. We want Half-Life 3. You son of a bitches. You. Not unlike the Half-Life saga. Destined to not have an ending. Bullshit. Bullshit. We riot. People. Start emailing Gabe now. Destined to not have an ending. Motherfucker.
Almost there, brother.
The fucking slowest elevator in history. Listen to that commentary, almost pissed me off now.
No, brother, step into the cart.
Sure thing, boss.
The handbrake, brother. Release it and come down.
Why couldn't he come up this fast? Oh, there was more shells there. I should have got those.
And what terrible wonders are these thou hast done among the dead? What shades rise to confess thee, and what spectres shall know thee by thy name? Greetings, brother.
Greetings.
And so we meet at last.
We do.
You are to be commended for avoiding my traps. The work of a man who once had too much time on his hands and now finds time for nothing but the work of salvation. I suspect you have little wish to remain in Ravenholm, so I will show you to the mines. As for me, a shepherd must tend to his flock, especially when they have grown unruly. Follow me, brother, and tread lightly, for this is hallowed ground.
Sure, I'll tread lightly, yeah. Sure, I'll take great care, don't worry.
Response rules. We knew early on that we wanted a lot of dynamic dialogue in-game, so we needed a system to handle it effectively.
That's such a cool
We aimed for a system that allowed sound designers to add and tweak lines without involving programmers, made the dialogue tightly responsive to the game's state, and minimized repetition. With these requirements, we created the response rules system. Whenever a character speaks outside of a choreographed scene, this system determines which line to deliver. Rather than picking up lines directly, character AI is constantly flagging opportunities for speech whenever a relevant event happens. Spotting the player, getting hurt, firing a last round in a gun, encountering overwhelming enemies, and so on. With each opportunity, it sends the response rules system a packet of data about the game's current state, and the system returns the most fitting dialogue line, if there is any. This setup allowed our sound designers to create a detailed decision matrix for dialogue. For example, a character might have a different set of lines for announcing a reload while under fire versus after the end of a fight, or if only one ally is left standing, or if there's a strider in sight, etc. By the time we shipped Half-Life 2, we felt we'd only scratched the surface of this system's potential. It became a core feature of Episode 1's Alyx, and went on to power the dynamic dialogue in our later games.
The real final arena. Very late in the development of Half-Life 2, when we were reviewing the entire game for final improvement opportunities, we decided we did, in fact, want a real finale for Ravenholm. The rooftop fight wasn't enough. After some discussion, we chose to add this final fight through the graveyard with Greggory alongside the player. It was risky, development-wise, but we felt the game needed it. Since we were near the end of production, we had a mature set of gameplay tools to work with, but even more importantly, by this point, we understood our own game. Making a game is often a process of learning what it is you're actually
understood your own game.
Why is our game fun? How is it different? What are the most important elements? As we built the game and watched playtesters go through it,
there's a lot of devs
we
who
learned
don't ask
answers
those
to those
questions these days when they're making a game.
Got better at making it. So the graveyard came together quickly.
How can we cut that out?
Less iteration than
how can
many
we sell it as a microtransaction?
Of the game.
How can we retain users? How can we keep the player count consistent with season passes? That's the questions they really ask now. What about player retention? How can we monetize it? Oh! Probably not a good place to stand there, Greggory. Oh, great! The fuck, man? You didn't have to do that while I was standing there. Are you trying to fucking send a message? Hey, look at those kicks! Hey, they're nice kicks. Converse. Oh.
Rest, my child. Follow me.
I ain't your brother, pal.
I think no worse of thee.
Ah! Could you shoot him, please? Jesus. Oh no, I'm in trouble. User death imminent. Death of the user is imminent. Oh. I love my brick. That ought to do it. Shut up. Ah! There's still more of them.
Go quickly.
Where? Oh! Fuck.
Onward to the mines.
Cool. Wait, where?
Go quickly.
Oh yeah, there's the gate. Muppet.
Farewell, brother. I fear I deliver you to a darker place. May the light of lights illuminate your path. Look to your own salvation.
Oh, does he get away? No, it's his crib. He's chosen his burial. Let me check over here. It's kind of anticlimactic if you stick around and you can still hear him. Well, we can just assume that he lives. He survives. Oh yeah, this tunnel. This little happy-go-lucky tunnel. Yes.
The complex route the player takes to safely navigate this mine shaft gives them plenty of time to see what's waiting for them at the bottom. And surprise, it's headcrabs. Honestly, it's often headcrabs. But in this case, it's poison headcrabs, which are fun by themselves, but a real riot when you add fast headcrabs into the mix. These two guys make a great combination. Neither is particularly dangerous on its own, but together they're incredibly lethal. Once poisoned, a single hit from a fast headcrab is enough to kill the player. And this is what biologists call symbiosis. At least that's what we think.
Yeah. Real fucking fun. Real funny. Very funny. So glad you did that. I'm actually running out of pistol ammo. Who'd have thunk? I can duck down to here, can't I? No. Yeah, you're fucking scrambling now, aren't you, shithead? Come on, run. Little scrambler. Any other little fuckers? No? Wanna go peacefully into the night? Probably saw an explosive barrel there. We can do that. I think we're clear. No, look at this. Now we're mostly clear. Oh, now we're donezo. Jesus, he's resilient. Go around there somewhere. Right. Time to go down and face the music. Face the music. Oh, look at him. I think that's the area cleared out. I think that's them all. I hope. Oh. Well, that should be all. And out pretty quick. Alright! Job's a good one. Fucking look at all these bastards. Oh! Here I thought I'd avoided most of the fucking shit. Son of a bitch. Ow. That hurt. And a barnacle. Guess I have to use it. Got a long way to pull us. A long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Oh. Struggling there, are we? Alright. Looks like we have to go this way. Oh. Need oxygen. Need oxygen to live. You got your girly man again. Getting them very consistently, aren't you? You must have cracked the code. Ah, that's where I came from. Where I came from. This thing's still alive. Oh, there it is. It's only servant to disorientate. Out of the fires. Oh yeah, this is pretty funny. This one's quite funny. Carry on my way to Whee! Oh! I'd get my own head lopped off. I'm not careful. It's always funny. It's always funny. Ignore